And
Can you see me now?
yes, I see you perfectly.
Yep,
We
we're good.
are live. Welcome back,
Awesome.
everybody, to a new episode of Horror Metal Cast. I'm Stevie, and we are here with Joseph and our special guest tonight, Ed. So, guys, say hi.
Hey,
Hi.
good evening.
Forgive me,
Ed,
I'm
how are
stuffing
you?
my face.
That's
Forgive me,
okay.
I'm stuffing my face.
It's all good. That we're relaxed here. We're cool. I do apologize to everybody that I do not have my fancy camera. I'm back to my old shitty laptop camera because I can't seem to figure out what the hell is wrong with it.
We had a few small technical issues on the way here, but we're here now, and that's the important thing. We made it here in one piece. And welcome to
Absolutely.
another episode of Horror Metal Cast.
Yes, episode
Hell
23
yeah.
now. So
Holy shit,
exciting
23?
stuff. Yeah, we're getting
We're
up there.
growing. We are growing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
thank
All
you.
right. Good stuff. So I know that you are eating dinner, but it is your turn to speak now. Ed, tell the people who you are, what you do.
As little as possible. I am Edd Sowder. Many of you who don't know me, I am the Executive Vice President of Burning Willow Press. And I am actually in my office at the moment because I never get a chance to leave this place. So I'm always in here. This is like my home away from home. And well, actually, the office is actually in my home, so that helps.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I'm always here, and I put out anywhere from 2 to 6 books a month for fantastic authors, and we just keep it rocking. I mean, as many as we can do.
Hell yeah. So you work primarily with horror and sci-fi and a little bit of fantasy in there as well. So what would you say, are you more driven toward horror releases, or what do you think along those lines?
I like them all, but now I can't say that I'm. Well, I grew up listening. I grew up reading a lot of Stephen King. As a matter of fact, my living room's got proof of that. Every single book he's ever released, including Rage, is in there.
Awesome.
So I read every single one of them with the exception of like 4, I think, maybe 5. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Mr. King will forgive me. He has a lot of books out there, and at least I own them. And I read a lot of horror as a teenager and growing up. At the same time, listening to quite a bunch of heavy metal and hard rock.
Oh, hell yeah, you're in the right place.
Awesome.
Damn right. And so I've always gravitated toward horror, but I do have a degree in physics as well. So I love science fiction, fantasy. I can read romance. I can write romance, but I really get bored with it quick when it's the same plot on just about every story. Right. So, but I can read it. I can write it, and I like to write stuff that's more macabre than anything.
Hell yeah, awesome. So what would you say, and we'll get to the metal part stuff too. I've got a couple talking points here for you, especially I want to talk about that picture. So what would you say is your favorite subgenre of horror? Not necessarily to write about or to, publish or anything, but like, what do you enjoy?
It really just depends on the story. Personally, my favorites are like inner demons. If you make your inner demon come to life and manifest, like, say for instance, we go back to Stephen King because The Dark Half was like an inner demon type thing that manifested, but it was actually part of a twin that was absorbed, but still really weird idea. Your inner demons, they're more realistic because, like, if you've got a drug problem or your main character's got a drug problem, that drug problem can manifest into an inner demon and manifest into a real living thing that could destroy your life. And
absolutely.
That's one of the things that I gravitate more towards when I'm writing, is try to fight the inner demons. Realistically, though, I will read anything horror related and I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's bring it on. The more gruesome, the better. But don't just throw a slasher at me and say, okay, here we go, because they typically have the same plot line as what you saw in the 80s for slasher films.
Right.
They get boring fast.
Right.
So what do you think, as far as, we're going to go to the picture now, clowns?
Oh shit. Scott Cannon, if you're watching this, I hope you love the fact that Stevie picked that picture.
I did. For anybody that wasn't aware, the thumbnail for tonight's episode is a photo of Ed with a very creepy looking clown.
His name is Uncle Creepy. So yeah, I don't have a flight reflex. I only have the fight reflex. If I didn't know that was Scott, a friend of mine, he's a con buddy, he's a con brother. We hang around each other when we get a chance to. We met each other at a convention, and him and his his buddy were dressed up like clowns. And if I wouldn't have known it was him, I would have probably flailed him right in the mouth. But the fact that it's Scott and he's a good friend, and he's been in the con circuit for years, and we run in similar circles, we have similar friends, is probably the only reason I even allowed that picture to be taken. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Quick story. I was at a haunted trail a few years ago with some friends and family members, stuff like that, and we were going through there, and a buddy of mine had dressed up like a clown. Well, he wasn't my friend. He was a friend of a family member that I was with, and dressed up like a clown and came around the corner and jumped right in my face. The next thing he knew was he was picking his nose up off the floor. I mean,
oh yeah, bad idea.
I broke his nose. I was just bam that quick, and he goes, "Motherfucking broke my nose." He's got blood gushing, and I'm like, he jumped out in front of me, man. What was I supposed to do? And the people I was with were like, "Dave, are you okay?" He's like, "He broke my nose. He broke my nose." And I swear, there was people behind me going, "That was fucking cool." So, I mean,
you know what? I'm that way with spiders, actually. Not so much clowns, but definitely spiders.
And well, I mean, to each his own.
I can't punch them. I don't know where their face begins and ends, so I don't know where to hit them yet. But I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure that out.
You could always poke them in one of their
bazillion eyes, like an old Laurel and Hardy kind of thing there. Because they're just there's 8 different spots you could get them in the eyes like that. But I'm that way with spiders, so I understand how phobic that can be and how manic I would be.
The only time I get scared of them is if I can't retaliate. Like if I'm stuck, like if I was strapped to a chair and clowns came in, I'd probably freak out, probably piss my pants. But but as long as I can back myself up to where I can get an assessment of the situation, yeah, there's gonna be a dead damn clown. I don't care if it's
there's no question.
I don't care if it's Jason Statham dressed up like a clown. It's gonna get his ass kicked. So,
I'm the same way. I mean, whatever's next to me, shoe, flamethrower, car, animal, whatever's next to me.
Dude, I got guns. I'm not worried about that stuff. I got guns. I don't run from anything anymore. Hell, I'm too fat and I'm missing a leg now, so I just shoot them.
There you go. Whatever.
It's only about that big. It's kind of that'd be a little. But I'll do it if I have to. I can't stand them.
There's a spider in that house. There's a spider in the house. So why is it on fire? There's a spider in the house.
The whole house is coming down, guys.
The entire house is coming down.
My sister-in-law's like that with spiders. She'd burn the house down.
You are a huge Stephen King fan.
Yes, I am.
Ed. Okay. I am a huge Stephen King fan.
See, something else in common.
The Bachman books and all that. What was your favorite book by Stephen King?
Oddly enough,
Stephen King.
As Stephen King, oddly enough, Eyes of the Dragon. I absolutely love that story. Eyes of the Dragon was my favorite Stephen King story.
I can't say I've ever read that one.
Oh, it's different. It's way different.
I'm having some technical issues here. I had that. Could you repeat that, please?
Eyes of a Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Then my second favorite is The Dark Half.
Okay, The Dark Tower series. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going with this. Actually, I wanted to know what your take on Idris Elba and that franchise coming into movie. So many people waited so long for that.
Yeah,
I was one of them.
Yeah, we went and saw it,
What were
and
your thoughts?
we went and saw it, and I really enjoyed the idea of it.
Right.
I think that they tried to shove too much into one movie,
Yes.
and there was stuff that happened in book 2 and 3 that didn't happen in the Gunslinger, and you're like, wait a minute, that's way, way, way on down the road. So
Yeah,
I think
right.
they're trying to take, what is there, 15, 20 of them damn things? They're trying to make them all like a trilogy. And in the TV and movie industry, you can't do everything that's in the book because
Right.
one, your book would be 40 hours long, or your movie would be 40 hours long.
Right.
And two, it doesn't always translate right. So you're kind of limited in what you can do. Now, when we can start doing virtual reality in TV and movies, then there's going to be a whole new experience. But until we can do that,
Well, you're also a Tolkien fan, so this would tie into that.
absolutely.
The LOTR movies that Peter Jackson did. I mean, personally, I was in love with that series as books from Tolkien, but I also thought that Jackson did an excellent job at representing everything in the book. It just had a great flow to it, and they got a little dicey, and he even admitted up around Shelob when she was up in the the mountain. They moved things around a little bit there, but outside of that storyline was like tight. I thought they really did a nice job with that.
I agree. And the great thing about Peter Jackson's vision with the Lord of the Rings trilogy is that he tried to touch on every single aspect of the original trilogy. Yes. And I think he did a great job with it. Realistically, those movies should have been 4.5 hours long each. But, who wants to sit in a movie theater for 4.5 hours after that big tub of popcorn and that monster drink about 2 hours in? I'm like, where the fuck is the intermission?
So
dancing in the seat. I don't want to miss anything.
Say that films that are adapted from long series of novels, do you think that they, especially now, like it seems to be that streaming is where it's at and TV shows and binge watching is where it's at, do you think adaptations like that work better as a TV series as opposed to films?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, and Santiago and Kendra both would probably come into my office and choke the living shit out of me if I didn't say this. Zombified, the book that Kendra and Santiago wrote together, which I have a copy of right here.
Oh, and for anyone listening or watching that isn't aware, Ed's wife is an author as well, and her name is Kendra, and she's amazing.
Yes, she is. And
we'll have to have her on one night.
That particular book, anybody who just saw me flash it up there, Zombified, the Headhunter, book 1. Is
go ahead and put it back up, Ed.
Oh, sure. That one is in pre-production right now for a TV series.
Very good. Fun stuff.
Yes, some really fantastic people have picked it up and are running with it, and we are ecstatic.
All right.
Yes,
good stuff, man.
The great thing about that is that with it being a TV series, I think that you'll have the opportunity to see more of the story. You're not as, we've only got 2.5 hours to do this in, and we got 20 hours of footage, so we got to cut it down. Okay, well, all well and good. With a TV series, you can draw it out a little bit, even make some cliffhangers to where you come back next season, Right. So I think that's where a TV series can be more beneficial in the long run to somebody who really loves a good story, because you get the opportunity to get to know these people 1 hour a week instead of 2 hours on the weekend. And like, okay, well, I went and saw Black Panther. Now what?
Yeah. There's really not an opportunity to flesh out a lot of the secondary characters aside from
not for at least a year, not until you see them come back in another Marvel movie or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they didn't get killed by Thanos, and I have not seen Infinity War yet, so I have no idea who's dead. I know I'm behind the times. I'm slacking.
God, what is wrong?
I'm busy as shit. I put probably 70 hours a week into my office.
Jeez. So tell us a little bit now, going back to the book speak. We're book people here. You had mentioned to me last week that you are going to be having an upcoming charity anthology. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Oh God, I wish I could throw the cover up right now, but I don't have one in front of me. We actually do a lot of charity anthologies, but Burning Willow Press is proud to present Crossroads in the Dark #5. That's 5.
Good stuff.
This is the 5th one in this series, so there's more of them out there, and there will be more after this. It is called Beyond the Borders, and it's a science fiction anthology that is going to give every bit of the profit for making this thing to St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
That's amazing.
That's beautiful.
Because you've sat there, you've watched the commercials, you've probably got a tear in your eye when you see these little sick kids, and there's nothing you can do. Now there's a chance. You buy the book, every bit of the money that comes from it goes straight to them.
Yeah. Awesome. I think it's really, I've participated in 4 charity anthologies myself, and I always really enjoy doing it. Obviously because, you get to write a new story and have people and share it with the world and have people experience it. But more than that, I don't need to make a penny off of anything that I write. So if I have the opportunity to help a charity make some money, and for my talent and other amazing authors' talent to benefit the world in some way, that's where it's at. I think it's amazing. It's a great opportunity.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And since Crossroads in the Dark 3 came out, which was a couple years ago, I don't know if you guys know her or not, but Tracy Fitzgerald Poist used to be our main editor, and she has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And we dedicated that one to her, and every penny that one makes goes straight to the Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome Foundation.
That's amazing. Yeah, she's good people. I'm familiar with her as well.
God, we love Tracy to death. We love her to death. And when she left Burning Willow Press because her illness just got too much for her, and she couldn't keep up with our growing catalog.
Yeah.
I don't know if it hurt her more or hurt me and Kendra more. But when I told her what the dedication for that particular anthology said, which I have it right here, this one right here.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Awesome. And when I told her what it said over the phone, she cried. Aww. And she could not believe that we were willing to do that for her. I said, Tracy, you have always been a big part of our company. Even though you don't work for us anymore, you're still a big part of our company, and we will never forget that you helped us get off the ground.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing of you guys to do that. So now you've got this 5th book coming out for the charity anthology. You said that's not the end of it. You're going to be having more coming out. What other, like, obviously non-charity books do you guys does Burning Willow Press have coming out in the future for 2019?
Give me 2 seconds. I've got it right here.
Awesome.
I just got to get it to pull up because the computer had to do this thing. But coming April 13th, we got S.L. Perrine's 3rd book in her Beast Within series called Mag as a Beast. It's very, very, very cool. It's a fantasy, YA fantasy. And there's a lot of changes that people aren't going to expect if they've read the first 2 and they haven't got to this one yet because, well, it hasn't come out yet. But there's a lot of changes going to happen for it. It threw me on a twist. I mean, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So I'm not going to give away the plot, but I will say that there's a power changing hands and it's going to be epic.
Nice. Very good.
Awesome. Right after that, Crossroads in the Dark 5 comes out on the 27th. Well, I'm going to try and release that a little early. I'm thinking I'm going to let it come out the 23rd. We're going to say the 23rd of April, maybe, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. The 3rd one in Sarah Dale's trilogy or series, I'm sorry. she's going to shoot me for that. Zodiac Cusp Kids. It's a third one called Something Lost, which is an ongoing series that follows a group of kids that are, preteen, teen, very young, living in the 80s. They really like MTV. They really like, Atari. And they apparently like to cuss, but they also fight monsters.
Oh, hell yeah. Very cool.
So, it's been a lot of fun to watch that develop. It's so much fun. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so it's like a throwback. It's a throwback to my early days. Like, the Goonies meets Something Wicked This Way Comes meets Monster Squad with a little supernatural in there. That's what
fun. Yeah, that sounds super
great.
Fun.
It's such a fun series. And then we got a brand new one coming from Sarah Hall and Nicole Thorne on May 25th, which is called Machete. It's Flesh and Blood series, I want to say. I'm not looking at the cover, so I can't. It's brand new. It just got in my inbox this morning, but I have no way of doing anything with it because I can't download it to the computer without internet.
Yeah.
Damn it, AT&T. I hope you're watching this. You guys are pissing me off. But yeah, as soon as I get it downloaded, I can make sure all the edits and everything look good, and I can shoot it over to the girls. They'll take care of the final edits on it, shoot it back to me. I'll give it a once over, make sure that we got all the punctuation and stuff right, and then that one will come out.
Very good. Very good.
Then,
so,
that just takes us to June.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure we could talk for hours on all the releases that you have.
I can take you all the way to 2020 at this point.
So what do you think? We talked a little bit about clowns earlier. We talked about a couple different, cerebral horror and like inner demons and everything like that. So what do you think as far as like the future of horror, both in film, television, and in the writing world? Where do you think the big powerhouse subgenres are going? What do you think that's going to be? Like, what are you seeing as far as like trends and stuff like that?
Well, I think that's a great question. I haven't had that one posed to me yet. I think that what we're looking at is you're going to see a lot more genre blending. You've got that happening in the writing world as it is. You got horror that has an air of mystery, that has an air of paranormal. You've got some YA that has some science fiction in it, that has just about everything that science fiction could be horror, because
absolutely,
there's that. That's what I tell people all the time. You want to write a science fiction novel, turn your monster into an alien, you've got it.
Yeah,
and there's always the idea that if you've got a horror novel and you want to pin it as a science fiction, it's really easy to do. You just got to twist and tweak here and there. I think a lot of genre blending is going to be what you see a lot more of in the coming years. And I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Just bring it in there. That's where anthologies do so well from time to time. Not all anthologies make money, but the ones who read them are like, this is great. You've got this theme here, and you got all these different authors that are throwing their idea at it, and it's a wonderful idea. You think about it, how successful was Twilight Zone?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
And now it's back. CBS has got it back with, what's his name that did... I can't remember.
Yeah, Jordan Peele.
Yes, Jordan Peele. Thank you. For some reason, I wanted to call him something else.
They're milking that, huh? A little bit.
But
they're going to milk that one to death. God bless them. They're getting it.
I think it's going to do fantastic, because I saw the interview where Rod Serling's daughter was happy that Jordan Peele took it over.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be great.
I can't wait to watch it.
I can't wait. Stevie and I were just talking about that a week or two ago, and how amazing it is that they're bringing that back. I actually
really think it premieres today, but I don't pay for the CBS All Access. So I'm gonna have to wait for that to get released and then just buy it and binge it anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like, binging is where now.
Damn right. Well, maybe Disney will buy CBS and then we'll get it on Disney.
Oh my God, please.
Hey, if Disney wants to throw money at me, I will gladly take it. You know?
Oh, hey, I'm not
Mickey,
saying I will.
hook a man up here. Mickey, come on. You know you're my boy.
So I'm going to let Joe in on something that you told me the other day while we were talking. Because I was telling Ed that you, Joe, are a metal drummer of many, many bands. But Ed actually told me something I had no idea about, that he used to be a drummer.
Oh, wow. Awesome. No kidding, man. But did you play metal? Were you?
Mostly hard rock, hair metal type stuff.
Okay.
You know, stuff from my age group. And my brother is one of the best guitarists I've ever met in my life or seen. I'm not just saying that because he's my brother. It's because it's fucking true.
No shit.
Right.
He used to throw down, and you know, and then when he wasn't around, I lived with my dad. I played, and I had a lot of fun. We started a couple bands and stuff. We never went anywhere, but it was a lot of fun to do it. I played up until I got married. And the drum set had to go because, you know, bills had to be paid. And but, you know, no disrespect to anybody that was in my life at that point in my life. It was a decision I made. And, you know, but I can't play anymore because of the missing leg, and I'm not Rick Allen. I don't have money to have a custom drum set made.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Rick Allen. I love Def Leppard.
That makes two of us, man. I'm not rich that way either. You know, I'm a roofer by day and a rocker by night.
There you go.
I've been playing since I was about 12 years old, and I never gave in on it. And I ended up doing some touring with a thrash metal band that's kind of iconic from the East Coast here's Blood Feast, and we were doing. Yeah, we were doing a lot of like, you know, festival touring and so forth. It was great. I had a ball. I loved it. I also just recently got married 2 years ago. So
congratulations. Well, Stevie just got married not too long ago too.
Yeah. It'll be 3 years for me in October, and Joe's actually married to my sister. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just keep it all in the family there.
But you mentioned your age bracket. Now, I'm not going to ask you what yours is. I'll tell you what mine is, and maybe we're going to be relatively close, hopefully. I'm above 50. I'm not
above 50, not yet, but ARP seems to think I am.
They start early, man. They started, you know, the mid 40s. But I understand the music thing from back in the day. And the Atari euphemism that you hit me with earlier, that series, I'm definitely gonna look into that now, because that sounds cool as hell. The Atari.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is just so cool. But that's, you know,
I'll show you what you need to look for. Let's roll around my office a little bit.
Yeah, take us on a little tour.
Take us on a roll. We'll roll with you.
Look, there they are. Oh, see, they're being hid by Creep Show.
Ah.
Absolutely.
That is a first edition, by the way.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Now I'm drooling, man. Now I'm drooling.
This is the first one you need to look for right here. Something Wicked.
By Sarah Dale.
Yep, excellent. And then you got to look for Something Haunted. That's the second one.
Okay.
And then you'll go after, I'm going to just set these here because this is a bitch, put them up there. Then you'll get Something Lost in May. Okay. She's got, I want to say there's 7, excuse me, I think there's 7 of them all together. Okay. And we're releasing them every 6 months for her. So she'll get one in May, and I want to say one in October or November.
Very cool.
And yeah, there's so much fun. I've really enjoyed these stories. They're novellas, so they're not. Yeah, November 5th will be her 4th one.
Are they available through Burning Willow Press? I mean, can we go up to burningwillowpress.com or something and get them? Or
yeah, there's links on our website to get them. But the easiest way to find them is Amazon.
Okay, awesome. Okay, very cool. Thank you.
If you go to Amazon and just type in Burning Willow Press, you'll find all kinds. I think we got 5 pages of books on there.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I'm going to be a busy boy.
So, Ed, I ask everybody this question. And actually, before Joe and I even started this podcast, when I had interviewed him initially for Horror Metal Sounds, a couple of years ago, I initially asked this question to him as well. So it's just like kind of like my tradition thing to do. I am of the mindset that horror and metal marry very well. And so I just was kind of trying to see your opinion on that. What are your thoughts as far as music in either film or television of the horror genre? Like what do you think works the best as far as musically?
Have you seen anything by Rob Zombie? I mean, come
absolutely,
on.
Of course.
I mean, yes, horror and, of course, metal.
And
right, horror and metal work really, really good together. And I mean, if you've ever been to a Kiss show, which I have, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne,
right,
Alice Cooper, they're all horror in some way. Now you got King Diamond out there. You got what's that guy's name now?
Ghost.
Shit, I can't think. Yes, Ghost. Thank you.
Ghost, right,
yeah, Ghost is now in the shock rock scene. I mean, you got all these great groups out here that married horror and metal back before. I mean, even Judas Priest with all of their spiked and leather and everything just kind of made it look like it was the appeal for the horror genre to just like, yes, we want you. Come to the dark side.
Yeah, right.
Dee Snider looked like a twisted, hooker from hell.
Twisted sister, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when Tipper Gore tried to throw him up on the stand in front of the Senate for the PMRC, they thought we'll get the most deranged idiot out of all of our lot to do this. Dee Snider's got a PhD. So they screwed up.
Right? He actually squashed them flat. I have an interesting story maybe for another time about the PMRC and that time too, regarding me and a band and the Capitol Theater. That's going way back. That was a staple place here in New Jersey. I don't know if you're familiar with the Jersey area or not, but that's going back. But I remember the PMRC, and he tied them up into a pretzel and threw them out the window, made them look like idiots.
No kidding. I mean, just chewed them up. And they were like, And I was like, yes, no. Yeah, and what did the PMRC do to metal and rock and all that? Made them put a little label on there that said explicit lyrics. Their sales went through the roof. So, I mean, Motley Crue was like, thank you.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, I'm totally well-versed at that, and I do remember the PMRC and all that stuff, and how much crap they gave us. But, yeah, he really did a bang-up job at that. Thank God. What do you think about the censoring today? I mean, the way...
what censoring? I mean, I can turn on the radio here locally, and they're saying shit, ass, bitch, and the only thing they don't say is, like, they don't allow people to say something derogatory about women, which is good because they're not allowed to say that C word, and that C word is a big no-no with me too.
But I don't see the problem with the F word.
I don't either. I use it all the fucking time.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, so do we. In fact, we encourage it.
So I don't see. I mean, what was it? There was a Jeremy by Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. Thank you. I know they're all the same fucking band.
Yeah.
They're all Temple of the Dog. So, but yeah, Pearl Jam's Jeremy. But he says a harmless little fuck in the damn lyrics.
Yeah.
So, but they played that.
Well, I think it's because Eddie Vedder, as much as I love him and as beautiful as his voice is, he also sounds like he has a bunch of marbles in his mouth. So I don't think they were able to understand it.
So did Kurt Cobain.
He could be talking about a hot plate, a toaster oven. Who the fuck? I don't know what he's talking about. He's got something going on. We don't know what it is. That, and he's, from what women say, he's hot. So he is. He can get away with anything he wants.
Well, I mean, think about it. You don't know what the fuck Ozzy Osbourne says when he's talking just normally. But you get him in front of a crowd, you can understand every word the man sings.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what the hell? Did the drug abuse only happen when he is not on stage?
It was the deal that he made with the devil, probably. There were some repercussions in that.
I watched an interview with him not too long ago. It was a recap of the decline of Western civilization, which I absolutely loved that documentary
that
that they
was
put out.
awesome.
Where he was in there and he was talking about the problem today is there's so many different kinds of metal. You've got heavy metal, you've got black metal, death metal, and tomorrow you're going to have washing machine metal. And I was like, yes, no shit. There's a big problem here, Ozzy. You're the man. Fix it. He goes, I'm just a rock and roller. That's all I'll ever be.
Oh wow! So I'm looking at the chat here, and only Adrian really was in here talking, but I see people watching. So my thoughts for you motherfuckers that are being quiet.
Yeah, we can say that here, motherfuckers.
Say something.
Yeah, as the moderator, I can see how many people are watching, and you should
drop off now.
Please shame yourselves. You guys aren't talking, so if you've got questions for Ed. So I'm going to say here, what is your favorite film from horror?
From horror?
Yes, of course.
Hellraiser.
Horror here.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Okay, there you go.
Hellraiser 1. Hands down. If it's on, I'm watching it. We have it on Hulu on my favorites list. I watch it all the damn time. Kendra probably does not want to ever watch it again, but yeah, Pinhead. There's only one Pinhead, by the way. Doug Bradley. Anybody else sucks. Doug Bradley is the only Pinhead. If you're watching, brother, I got your back. They can't do a Pinhead without you, man.
No, it was all fluff. The other stuff was all just cheese, to try to keep that franchise moving along with Pinhead, because everything went to Pinhead, right? But Pinhead was Doug Bradley. Doug Bradley was Pinhead, will be Pinhead, should be Pinhead. It's just that's who he is. And they should have never have made a franchise without him in it. I don't know why he was not involved. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Money, contracts, something. I don't remember what the fuck up was on their part, but they should have never let him go. He is an icon.
Yeah, no, I mean, he played that part so perfectly, it was ridiculous. I mean, that movie scared me almost. All right, Stevie knows the movie that scared me to death.
Oh, yeah. Always. Yeah. We can't go one episode without you bringing up.
No. I'm going back to the very first movie I ever saw.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to bring up the fucking Conjuring.
No. I'm not going to bring the Conjuring. The Conjuring, right? Because they're amazing. The Conjuring, they were amazing. I love them. I love those stories. I was referring to Phantasm.
Phantasm. Hell yeah. That's a fantastic film.
I saw it in the theater, and it was like, it did things to me. You know what I mean? It really fucked me up. I was scared to death. But Pinhead, Bradley did the same thing to me. The second guy, not so much, but Bradley scared the living shit out of me. Same way. I would think about it the next day, and I would have chills going up my arms.
Man, I tell you what, Pinhead, and if you want to get a little more fantasy for a fantasy horror, I would say my favorite all-time film ever for a fantasy with a horror subgenre in it is The Crow with Brandon Lee. Any other Crow sucks ass. I don't care who they are. The original, and I don't care if Hollywood says, "Oh yeah, we're remaking The Crow." I will not see it. I don't give a flying fuck if you drag me to it. I'll sit there like this the whole damn time. I am not watching it because Brandon Lee's legacy should be right there and leave it there.
Yep, I agree. No, I definitely do agree with that. I think that there's only one Crow.
Right. It was the first one.
I don't even know the point of there being other, and it's always a money grab. It's always a cash grab. But
oh wow, this movie made so much money. Let's make another one and see if it does the same. Oh, and we can track a new generation. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Make them watch the original.
Yep. So this right here, this where the conversation is going leads me to a question I'm curious on what both of you feel about. So recently, it was like in the news here recently, it's been the subject that Mark Hamill is going to voice the new Chucky. And a lot of people are kind of pissed off about it, that the fact that Brad Dourif is not going to be involved with the new Chucky. So what are your, like, I don't know if either of you are Child's Play fans from, you know,
the first one. Yeah. After that, they kind of got stupid.
What are your thoughts of Brad Dourif not being the voice of Chucky for the first?
In Hollywood, there is probably a good reason why Brad said no. He may have a contract that's already instated that he can't, and he can't be a part of it for their time frame. But right. I don't know a whole lot about the story other than Mark Hamill has signed on to be the voice of Chucky. Yeah, I don't care. Mark Hamill is awesome. Yeah, have you seen him play the Joker on the animated series?
Oh, he was amazing.
He's great.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Hamill's the man. I just find it very curious. I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more as to why Hamill was the first choice. And like you said, it could be where Brad was not able to contractually, or something like that. Right. Could be a number of things.
Going from like you said, going from the Joker to Chucky may not be so much of a stretch after all. I mean, if you look at the context. The Joker had that kind of, Chucky actually has that kind of vibe to him, that tongue-in-cheek, dark, deadly humor.
Yeah.
The Joker definitely has, and I could see a tie in there. But it just, I mean, obviously the first thing you think of is, what I mean? It's Mark Hamill. It's Luke fucking Skywalker, right? But it's not. You're right.
That summer, yeah.
You're absolutely right, though. He is noted for his voiceovers, and I even forget that sometimes. So thank you for pointing that out. That's an awesome point.
Yeah, he played in the Batman animated series, the Joker, the zoot suit wearing Joker, not a fucking wannabe gangster Joker.
Right.
Where shooting the Tommy gun at Batman and going, "Hey, bats!" I mean, just trust me on this. I think he's going to do fine.
All right, well, cool.
No, and probably will.
My next question for you both, since you're both like super King fans, you know what I mean? Because this is also something along the same vein of what we were just talking about, as far as like remakes and like major changes and whether or not it's going to be good for it or not. So the new Pet Sematary is coming out soon, and people are fucking up in arms. And it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's already been given away.
They didn't kill off Gage and bring him back. Instead, they're going to go back.
Yep. So Ellie is going to be the one dying and coming back. What are both of your thoughts on that?
Me being a fan of the original, because Gage was creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And it had Tasha Yar from the Next Generation in it.
Fred Gwynn. How can you replace Fred Gwynn?
Yeah. Well, he was kind of dead, so he couldn't play. He couldn't play the man. But
well, yeah.
Unless they put him in the Pet Cemetery a few years ago. But Stephen King saw it before he started releasing this, that, and the other. And Stephen King himself said it scared the fuck out of him. So
really,
he's happy as hell about it, according to all of his social media and everything. He's very happy with it. So if he's cool with it, I will give it a chance.
Oh yeah, I'm still gonna go see it. I'm not one of I say it time and again. I'm not a purist when it comes to horror or music and shit like that, because I try to keep an open mind. Right. I do believe if it's not broke, don't fix it. However, I do try to keep an open mind, and I try to see the remakes just to see what
they fucked up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did they fuck it up? And what did they bring? What's something new that they brought to the table? Did they
need to remake the Stand completely? Just like forget the other TV thing existed and redo the Stand into like a.
Oh Jesus! Movie. I know. I can't wait for them to redo the Stand. It was so bad.
God, I couldn't believe it, Ralph. At the end, the most pivotal point in the movie when the hand of God reaches through the cloud, right, to touch the nuke and turn it off. Oh, look, it's the hand of God coming down from the sky. And it was the worst acting ever. You got some dude from like the Bronx, you know.
You tell he's from Jersey.
I only missed the point. Rob Lowe's in the corner muttering, you know what I mean? It's just,
it was really bad. And we've talked about this countless times. Like, we both love The Stand, and we hate the fucking movie. Like, the adaptation was
the movie sucked ass. Shit. I mean, it did. Horrible. It sucked ass. And if they redo The Stand and do it right,
give it to Peter Jackson.
Well, they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be remaking The Stand. I don't know what kind of like what's the status? Is it still pre-production? I'm not really sure what the status of it is, but they are supposed to be remaking it into a series.
That would be fine, as long as it's not a mini fucking series.
Yeah,
because mini series, and I mean, you might as well put them on Lifetime Movie Network. Not that Lifetime Movie Network. If they want to send me some money, I'll take it.
Well, it is going to be, so from what I just Googled, because I cheat during the show and I look things up to make myself seem more knowledgeable.
You're not doing anything that anybody else hasn't already done.
Exactly. So it's supposedly coming to CBS All Access again, because everybody's got to try to make a fucking extra penny off everybody. So that's what it's...
What happened to free TV, where we could just turn on our TV and adjust the rabbit ears or have your kid be the remote control for you? I don't want to watch that. Change channel, son.
Everybody's got to compete with Netflix now. You know what I mean? Because I don't think a couple years ago anybody thought that streaming would be such, just the big giant thing that it is today. Yeah,
I remember when people lost their shit because Netflix said they had to raise their rates by $1. I was like, what?
No.
What the fuck? Who cares?
I'm like, I'll sign my life away. You could raise it $20 a month, and I'm still gonna fucking pay.
Don't give them any ideas, Stevie.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, really quiet.
I was just kidding.
Okay, I'm sorry. Stevie Kopis has been replaced on this show because of out of turn talking.
We couldn't afford Stevie anymore. She had to pay $75 for Netflix because she kept talking about raising. No, we're kidding. I go off on tangents. Stevie, I don't know if you've told him I follow the squirrel down the rabbit hole. I'm that guy. I'm little HDH, whatever the hell it is, hyperactive, what they used to call it.
Yeah, that's Joe for sure. He's our resident.
He's hyper. Lock him up. There you go.
People wonder how the hell I get so much shit done. I think it's because I have ADD.
Well, yeah, because it makes us excellent multitaskers.
I mean, I can work on 500 different projects at one time. None of them ever get finished completely, but I get everything done.
You're going to touch all of them at least twice. I'm the same guy.
And I'll tell you all, too, that we're probably all procrastinators.
Oh, yeah.
I can't procrastinate my business. I really can't. I will. If I procrastinated, nothing would get done here. No, the only thing I procrastinate on is like taking care of the yard and the house. Everything else, yeah, fuck it. It's got to be done now. I need it done now. I need it done now. When it comes to business, I don't procrastinate. When it comes to cutting the grass, which I did today, that can wait a week.
Yeah, I think that makes you a pro, though. That makes you a pro at it.
I was going to say it depends on who you ask. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, no, I don't procrastinate at all. But if I ask my wife that question, the answer may vary just a little bit. I mean, it might be a little different, balance there.
Depends on her mood that day.
All right, Gunslinger. Going back, and I hate to do this, but I am pissed. I am pissed about that movie. I am going to be angry for like the next 30 years. Because
Can they remake it again?
That would be a great remake. I mean, is that it? What was the point? Was it one movie? Are they going to branch out and do a series, or it's just it?
I don't know. Because Randall Flagg's not dead.
No, right? No, Flagg's not dead, and obviously Roland isn't either.
Right. So, I mean, we haven't even gotten to the wolves, or we haven't gotten to wizards and glass. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that they can still explore. So I don't think it's over with yet.
Prancing and Cavorting, the Wastelands,
Right.
Drawing Tree with the crab, the lobstrosities on the beach. I mean, all these things that I want to see.
Some weird shit.
Right. Just cool shit.
You know, I kind of wonder what kind of drugs King took back in the 80s and 90s when he was writing that shit. He swears he did a lot of cocaine back then. I think he's touching on some dust, too.
Yeah. It might have been Ajax, you know. They could have been putting all kinds of weird things in the powder, you know what I mean?
4-way window pane. What the hell are you talking about? I got 8-way, bitch.
So what it seems like the Stephen King tsunami is upon us with all these different remakes and sequels and films coming out. What do you think is going to be the next either remake or adaptation?
From King?
What do you hope, aside from The Stand, because we already covered that?
From King?
Yes.
I've got a funny feeling that they're going to try. Well, Cujo, even though I love Dee Wallace Stone. God, I love her to death. Yeah. Possibly Christine. I'd like to see an update on that one. That'd be kind of cool. But they've still got to use the Plymouth Fury because that's such an iconic car.
Oh, yeah.
That's another question.
And they've already done Carrie. They've done Carrie to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What about, and now this is a stretch, but I would love to see this, and I'll drop a clue. It involves the Alhambra. That would be the Alhambra Hotel. That would be a book that he did with Peter Straub.
Yeah, that would be The Talisman. I don't know that they could do a good version of that one because it's so in depth.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a better Tommyknockers. The one that I watched sucked ass.
Right. Oh yeah, that one was pretty good. That was pretty bad.
Tommyknockers is awesome.
Tommyknockers, the book kept me up late at night.
See the Langoliers do something.
Langoliers was great in 4 Past Midnight, but you know, instead of making the Langoliers, why didn't they make the Sundog? Why didn't they make the Library Policeman?
Awesome. The Sundog was awesome.
I mean, those would have been so cool. I mean, I couldn't see Balky running around like a crazed man at the airport anymore. I was like, no, that's Balky. He's fun.
Mr. Toomey. Wasn't that his name, Mr. Toomey?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Toomey.
Yep. Ridiculous.
So, did either of you watch Castle Rock on Hulu? That
I did not, and I should have. It's still on there. I could, but I mean, I did not watch it. And we sat down and we were scrolling. We watched that. It'd be like 12 o'clock at night.
I think I did watch part of it.
And Kendra would be like, well, I'd get into that and I'd be wanting to stay up all damn night. And it's already midnight. And I'd be like, okay. So we put on like emergency pet vets or some stupid shit just to fall
something
asleep.
To make you fall asleep.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away for it, but I enjoyed it until it was over. And then I was kind of let down a little bit, I guess. I don't feel like there was a really, I don't know. It wasn't a satisfying ending because it's going to be an anthology series. So each season is going to be about different people and all that shit, all based in the King universe. I hope the second season is more satisfying than the first, I guess, is what I would say.
Right. Mm-hmm. One that I hope they don't remake is Needful Things.
Yeah, now with Max von Sydow, that was just
right, and they should leave it at that because God, he played that role good. You know,
he did. He really did.
I mean, I think that they should leave that one alone. It has aged very well, so I think it's going to be all right. Whereas, like Cujo, I mean, where the dog's beating up the Pinto, we could change that to a Fiat or a smart car, and it'd be better.
What about the darker half? That would be a better remake. I think they could do a better job on that.
Yeah, the Dark Half would be a good one to remake. And the main reason why is because we all need the sparrows to fly.
Right. Yeah.
So, once the sparrows start flying, I mean, but you got to remember, those were made for TV movies. They didn't have a shit ton of budget.
Yeah.
So
they were all pretty terrible too.
If we can get these things all in here and get them where they've got, a couple of $1 million worth of budget,
right.
a big studio picks it up, like, Newcastle Entertainment or, Lionsgate or somebody like that picks it up. Jesus Christ, man, there's no holding back. King would be, he'd be stepping all over damn James Patterson's head.
Well, I think with the success of it specifically, just how well that film did, I think that's why a lot of people are taking more of an interest in remaking and adapting with bigger budgets because they've seen that it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about it, there's been some bad critics when it comes to Stephen King's It. The first one, Tim Curry, I was not scared. I hate clowns. I was not scared of Tim Curry as a clown. I was like, that's fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. With Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, it had a different aspect to it. He did a good job playing Pennywise.
Yeah,
he was creepy in the right spots. When he came out of the damn water in the basement, that was fucking insane. And,
that was scary as shit.
I mean, I thought it was good. Kendra and I both watched it. We went to the movie theater and saw it, and leave it to me to pick out the old car in the middle of Derry. It's a 67 Black Impala, people. Sam and Dean are going to take out Pennywise. I even made a meme of that. I slowed the movie down on my computer because I had a digital copy. Slowed it down till I found that car and I circled it. And I made a meme of it, put it on my Facebook page. Go look through my pictures, you'll find it. It says Sam and Dean are going to take out Pennywise, folks.
There in the wind there, or was it, Man, that was actually a great show for a long time. I watched the first 4 or 5 seasons of that, and I just
it's still great.
Yeah,
enter Netflix, whose price we like where it is.
Yeah,
I'm going to be watching.
Stevie don't. Yeah, Stevie don't. Stevie wants it $20 more.
Leave it alone.
All right. So one of my final questions for you, and this is something I'm very interested in because I'm into it as well. What is your favorite car?
My favorite car?
Your favorite antique car?
Oh, wow. I was an ASE certified master tech for almost 20 years.
Wow.
So there's a lot of cars that I have on my bucket list of what I'd like to own. Right. Obviously, 1950 Merc is number one.
Wow.
But good luck finding one.
Right.
That's not, $50,000 and it's nothing but a rusted out frame. That would probably be quintessentially the number one.
That would be awesome.
I owned a 66 Chevelle, so I'm good there. My wife wants me to find her a 67 Impala. I told her if I found her a Caprice, it's the same damn thing. I could just change the emblems. She doesn't want me to do that because I can find a Caprice easy. Change the emblems on it, and it's an Impala. But she won't know because I'll know. Okay, whatever.
Just don't tell her.
She'd know. She'd know because she wants to help me restore it. But I really like the Fairlanes. I like the old Fairlanes. I like the old Galaxies.
Right.
I like the 57 shoebox, but I think the 55 was more iconic because it didn't have the big ass fins on it.
Right.
Oddly enough, Carroll Shelby's AC Cobra.
Killer car. Oh, that's gorgeous, man. Yeah, that would be a pinnacle car for me as well. 57.
But I actually have a 47 Willis CJ3A out in my yard.
Oh wow, man, that's killer.
That I'm working on slowly because I procrastinate on that thing.
I'd like to see progress snapshots of that, please, down the line. If we could do that, that would be
So would my dad.
All right. So it is time for me to be the time Nazi because we are at an hour. So
okay. Wow.
Yeah, it went by fast. That went by very fast.
We'll definitely have you on
cool.
again.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be my pleasure.
So much to talk about, and thank you so much, Ed, for joining us tonight on episode 23 of Horror Metal Cast. Real quick, before we go off air, let the people know anything that you want to plug, real quick.
Yeah, let's bring some attention to all of the anthologies that we put out that were for charity. I mean, the Crossroads 3, 4, and soon to be 5 in the dark. You can go get them on Amazon, pre-order on Amazon. They're all for charity. They're all for good causes. Then you got Southern Fried Autopsies, which is also for feedingamerica.org. And that was put together by L. Bachman and James Masters and myself. We had a lot of fun putting that one together. And I mean, every story and poem in that one is just a top notch. You'll love it. I even have one in there, which is interesting.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Crossroads in the Dark 4 Ghosts is for suicide prevention. And I actually wrote a short story for that one as well. And everybody who read it was like, holy shit, who knew you could write? And I'm like, yeah, every once in a while I do put my pen to paper. And but we'll plug S.L. Perrine, who's coming out in a couple weeks with her 3rd book. Make sure you go and check out all of her work. Check out all of Kendra's work. Check out all of Burning Willow Press's work. I mean, I've got damn near 100 authors. I can't plug every one of them. I know. I wish I could.
But and that's burningwillowpress.com, right?
Right.
burningwillowpressllc.com because LLC. I didn't sign up the website. I didn't sign up the website. Somebody else did. So, but yeah, it's burningwillowpressllc.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, which is where I talk to Stevie most.
I'm always on Instagram.
Right. I watched her vacation and everything on Instagram. Watched her wedding and everything. Yeah. But we are on Instagram at BWPLLC. We're on Twitter at Burning_Willow. We're on Facebook, Burning Willow Press. You can find me, but I'm selective. I'm kind of a dick that way. I have an Amazon page, but you can also check out our Amazon page, Burning Willow Press, and just scroll through. Just look at all the great stuff that our company's doing. I couldn't do what I do without the support of my staff. I make it look easy when I get on a podcast and I talk to people. And, you know, if it wasn't for my editors and my authors and my graphics team and my formatting team, and then my boss, Kendra, I couldn't do what I do. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They make me look great.
Thank you to all of Ed's staff for making BWP so awesome. And again, thank you, Ed, for being on the show. You were a pleasure. And and remember, everybody, head over to horrormetalsounds.com, your one-stop shop for horror and metal. New reviews will be out this week from my awesome horror show review team. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 23.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolute pleasure meeting you, Ed. And you'll definitely be a repeat if you'd like to be. We got to spend a little more time together.
Right. Oh, yeah. You two are two peas in a pod over here. All right, guys. Same place, same time next week on Monday. We will see you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Peace. Laters.